It has happened to you. Maybe once, maybe many times, and I will describe the moment exactly, because I want you to know from the first minute of tonight that I know. You were alone in the house, doing something ordinary, the dishes, the folding, half a thought in your head, and someone said your name, clear, real, your name, in a voice, sometimes right beside you, sometimes from another room. And you stopped, and you turned, and you may even have answered, "Yes, hello, who's there?" And the house was empty. Nobody. And you stood there in the quiet with your heart going a little quick, and you did what everyone does. You checked the window. You blamed the television that was not on. You told yourself it was the pipes, the wind, your ears playing tricks, your imagination, and then, hear this part, you told no one, maybe for years. Maybe you have never once mentioned it to a living soul, because there is no way to say I heard someone call my name in an empty house that does not sound to the modern ear like the beginning of a worrying conversation. So you filed it away with the other unexplained things and you carried it alone. Tonight, that ends, and I want to begin by telling you two things that are both true. The first, this experience is one of the most common on this earth. It is astonishingly common. The quiet majority of people have had it. Your neighbors have had it. The friends who would give you the concerned look have had it. Everyone files it away. Everyone tells no one. An entire world of people keeping the same secret from each other. And the second thing, and hear my care for you in this, if voices come to you often, or say frightening things, or trouble your days, then honor your body and speak with your doctor. That is the way, always. I will never teach you otherwise. But that is not what I am talking about tonight, and it is not what happened to you. What happened to you is the other thing, the single call. Your name, once, clear, in the quiet, from nobody. My people have known that experience for 1,000 generations, my friend. They did not file it away, and they did not tell no one. They had an understanding of it, a whole teaching, and when it happened to someone in the camp, the elders would nod, because they knew what it was. And tonight, at last, so will you. To understand the call, you must first understand what a name is in the old way, because the modern world has forgotten, and the forgetting is why the experience confuses you. To the modern world, your name is a label, a filing word, letters on cards and forms, interchangeable, ornamental. To my people, the name was among the most sacred things a person carried. Names were given with ceremony, sometimes earned, sometimes changed at the great turnings of a life, because the name was not a label for the person. Hear this, the name was a cord to the person. The old one said, "The name is the handle of the soul. It is the one sound in all the world that reaches past your ears and touches the actual you. And you know this is true, my friend. You have proven it your whole life without noticing. In a crowded, loud room, 100 voices roaring, you hear nothing, and someone across that room says your name once at ordinary volume, and you turn, instantly. Out of all that noise, that one sound found you, hooked you, turned your whole body, because your name does not travel to you the way other words travel. Other words knock at the ears. Your name walks straight in. That is why, in the old way, the speaking of a name was never casual. To call someone's name was to reach for them, to take hold of the cord, and the old people were careful with names the way you are careful with things that are loaded. And now hold that understanding up to your empty house. If the name is the cord to the soul, and the cord was pulled clearly, unmistakably, in a room where no living person stood, then the question is not whether you imagined it. The question, the old question, the one the elders asked when it happened, is the one I will spend tonight answering. Who reached for you, and why? And so you understand how seriously the old ones held this. Let me tell you what I witnessed as a boy, the first time I ever saw the teaching in action. A man of our community, a practical man, not given to talk of unseen things, came to my grandfather troubled, and I was in the room, small enough to be forgotten in the corner, and I heard him tell it. working alone in his shed, middle of the afternoon, and his name spoken clear in the doorway behind him. And he turned with his greeting already coming, and the doorway stood empty, and the yard beyond it empty, and he had walked the whole property and found no one, and it had been sitting on him for days. And I watched my grandfather receive this the way you receive serious news, no smile, no dismissal, and he asked the man 2 questions. Whose voice? And the man was quiet a long moment, and then said the name of his mother, gone 11 years. And then, what is happening in your life right now? And the man told him of the decision he was carrying that season, a heavy one, about the land, about staying or selling and leaving, the kind of decision that bends everything after it. And my grandfather nodded slowly, the way he nodded when things fit, and he said, So, your mother came to the door of your work at the hour of your heaviest carrying and called you by name, and you have spent 4 days trying to convince yourself it was the wind. And the man had no answer, and my grandfather said the sentence I have carried 60 years, the wind does not know your name, only the ones who love you know your name. And I watched a practical man's face change in that room, watched the trouble go out of it and something else come in. And he made his decision that season with a steadiness people remarked on. And he told my grandfather afterward that he did not feel he had made it alone. That is what the old understanding does with this experience, my friend. The modern world files it away and carries it alone for years. The old world asked whose voice and what are you carrying, and sent a man home steadied instead of spooked. Before I share the next teaching, I need to tell you something. I'm not going to be here forever, and most of what I know was never written anywhere, so I sat down and I wrote it, all of it. 20 teachings, 4 parts, in the order they were meant to be received. The ones about names and chords and the ones who still hold yours. The ones about the quiet signals and how to answer them. The ones I have never said on camera. It is called The Native Way, and it costs less than 1 dinner you will not remember. Scan the code on your screen or look in the comments, but do not leave yet, because I am about to tell you who calls the 3 callers the old ones knew, and by the end you will know which one said your name. So who calls? The old ones knew 3, and I will give them in order. The first caller, and for many of you this is the one, is a loved one who has passed, saying the oldest greeting there is. Think about how the ones who loved you announced themselves in life. They did not begin with speeches. They came through the door, or into the kitchen, or up the porch steps, and they said your name. That was the whole greeting. Your name, in their voice, meaning, I am here, I came to see you. Where are you? It was the first word of every visit for 40, 50, 60 years. And hear what my grandmother taught about this because she taught it plainly. The ones who love us do not learn new languages when they cross over, grandson. They speak the way they always spoke. And when they come near, which they do, I have taught you this, they announce themselves the way they always announced themselves. And notice something about your experience, the ones of you who have had it. Notice what I know without you telling me. The voice was familiar, was it not? In the startled moment you may not have placed it, but sitting here now, being honest, many of you know exactly whose voice said your name in that empty kitchen, and some of you have known all along, and it is precisely why you told no one, because the voice belonged to someone who could not have been there. Hear the old understanding, my friend. The call was not a malfunction of your grief. It was a greeting. The same greeting that came through your door 10,000 times come once more from a little farther away. They did not come to frighten you. What loves you does not frighten you. I have taught it before, and it holds here above all. They came the way they always came, and they said what they always said first, your name. I am here. I came to see you. And if you are asking, as some of you are asking right now, why only the name, why not more, why not a whole message, then hear the gentlest answer the old ones gave. Because the name was never the beginning of the message, my friend. The name was the whole message. Think of everything that lived inside the way that one voice said your name across a lifetime. The love, the familiarity, the belonging, the home of it. They did not need a second word in life. They do not need one now. The second caller the old ones taught is an ancestor you never met, and this call comes at particular times, so check your memory against this. The old ones noticed that the name call from the deep line, from the grandmothers and grandfathers beyond the ones you knew, tends to come at the thresholds of a life, in the seasons of great change, before or after a loss, at the edge of a decision that will bend the remaining road, in the long, uncertain nights of an illness, yours or someone dear, when you are, without fully knowing it, standing at a door. My grandmother said the deep line watches its living the way shepherds watch the flock, mostly silent, mostly still, and it speaks when it speaks at all, at the crossings. And the call at the crossing is not a message with contents. Hear this. It does not come to tell you which choice to make. It comes to tell you one thing only, the thing the deep line has always needed its walking ones to know at the hard places. You are not walking alone. We see you. We are still here, and you are still ours. The name, remember, is the cord, and at the thresholds, the old hands give the cord one gentle pull, so that you feel, in your startled turning, what you can feel in no other way, that the line holds, that you belong to something older than your trouble. If your name came to you in a season of crossing, my friend, and I ask you to look back honestly at when it came, then you have already understood who reached for you, and you can stop being unsettled by the kindest thing that has happened in years. And notice, before we go to the third caller, one more thing about the timing of the calls, because the old ones tracked this carefully and what they found will match your experience. The call almost always comes in the between states, not in the middle of your busy hours and not in your deep sleep, but in the between. The edge of waking, when you are surfacing in the morning, and your name comes and you answer before you remember you live alone. The edge of sleep, drifting down, and the call pulls you back up. The middle of ordinary tasks done on habit, the dishes, the folding, the driving of the long-known road, when the hands are busy and the mind has wandered off its leash. The old ones said these between states are the open states. In full waking, the mind is a wall of noise, nothing gets through. In deep sleep, the door is closed another way. But in the between, the wall thins, the guard steps down, and whatever has been waiting patiently for a way through, finds it. This is why the call so often comes at the sink and the threshold of sleep, my friend, and never during the television. The callers are not stronger in those moments. You are simply finally reachable. And hear what that means turned around, because it is an instruction. A person who builds quiet into their days, the sunrise sitting, the silence, the fire, the listening walk, all the things this fire has taught, is building reachable hours into their life, and the reachable ones the old people knew receive more. Not because they are chosen more, because their door is open more. And the third caller, the deepest one, is the one my people would name with the most care, so I will speak it carefully. Sometimes the call does not come from the loved ones, and not from the line, but from the Creator's own messengers, and its purpose is the simplest and largest of all. It is a summons to wake. Hear how the old ones reasoned. When does the call come? Almost never in the noise. Notice this. It comes in the quiet moments, the between moments, standing at the sink, drifting near sleep, alone on the porch, the moments when the noise of your life thins and something can finally get through. And what does being called by name actually do to a person? You know what it does. It happened to you. It stops you completely. Every thought scatters. The whole self turns and comes fully present, instantly, totally, listening with every fiber, more present than you have been in weeks. No other sound on earth can do that to you. And the old one said, that is the purpose. Sometimes the soul drifts so far into its routines, its worries, its sleepwalking years, that heaven itself reaches for the one sound that can bring a person all the way back in one syllable and pulls the cord, and the person stands in their kitchen, wide awake at last, heart quick, fully arrived in the present moment for the first time in months, asking who called me. And the old answer, the beautiful answer is, whoever it was, look what they accomplished. You are here now, completely here. The call to wakefulness is not asking you to do anything, my friend, except the thing you did in the very moment it came. Stop, turn, come fully present, listen. It is the same summons the sunrise makes, the same one the thin hours make, the one this whole fire has been making week after week. Wake up, be here. It matters that you are here. So what do you do when it comes again? And hear me, for many of you it will come again. Here is the old response, and it is not what the modern world would guess. You do not investigate. You do not rationalize it away. You are done with the pipes and the wind. That door closed tonight. And you do not fear that above all the old ones were firm. The name call in the quiet house was never once, in all the generations of the teaching, a thing to fear. What you do is what my grandmother did, because I witnessed it. I was in her house as a boy when she stopped, mid-motion, in the way I now understand, and turned, and I watched this old woman say calmly to the empty room, in the way you answer someone who has come to the door, I hear you, I am here. And then she stood a moment, quiet, open, listening, and then she went back to her work with a softness on her face that stayed the rest of the day. That is the whole practice, my friend. Answer, out loud if you are alone, in the heart if you are not. I hear you. I am here. Because every caller, all three, wants only that. The loved one greeting you wants greeting back. The line at your crossing wants you to know you are held, and your answer tells them the knowing arrived. And the summons to wake wants exactly the wakefulness your turning already gave. Answer and stand a moment in the open quiet, and let the moment be what it is, a visit, a holding, a waking, and then return to your work and watch, as my grandmother taught. Watch the days that follow gently without hunting, because the old ones said the call often comes a little ahead of something, the way a knock comes a little ahead of the guest. And in the days after, notice what arrives, the news, the person, the turning, the thing you were being steadied for, and when it comes, you will understand the fullness of what happened in your kitchen. And one thing more, the last thing, and it is for the ones of you who have been carrying this experience as a secret for years, filed away, told to no one. Tonight, take it out of the file, say it to someone. Tell them what you heard, plainly, the way you would tell any true thing, and watch what happens, because I promise you what happens. Half the time, the person you tell goes very quiet, and then they say the sentence they have been holding as long as you held yours. That happened to me, too. The whole world is keeping this same secret from each other, my friend. An entire generation startled in their kitchens, saying nothing. Be the one who says it first. The loneliness of the unexplained things was always optional. It only ever needed one person brave enough to go first, and after 100 of these talks together, I believe that person is you. If what you heard today stayed with you, the book is there. The Native Way, 20 teachings, 100 pages, written the way I would speak to you if we were sitting together. Scan the QR code on the screen with your phone or find the link in the comments. Read one chapter. Sit with it. Now I want to hear from you. Tell me in the comments. Whose voice was it, and how long have you kept it to yourself? I read every comment, and if this is the kind of conversation you have been looking for, subscribe to this channel. We are not collecting viewers here. We are collecting people who remember. Come back next week. I am not done teaching yet.